Southern Ohio Farm Show. This is Gigi Neal of OSU Extension in Claremont County, Agricultural and Natural Resources Educator.
I'm James Morris, the Agricultural and Natural Resources and Community Development Educator for the Ohio State University Extension in Brown County.
And I'm Brooke Beam, the Ohio State University Extension Educator for Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Community Development in Highland County. And we will be your hosts for the Southern Ohio Farm Show.
Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the Southern Ohio Farm Show. This week we have a wide variety of topics ranging anywhere from information on personal protective equipment, strawberry production tips, some activities you can do at home with your youth, and even a few reasons why you may want to keep your eye in the sky on some of our clear nights. But first, we have an update from Aaron Wilson on our weather outlook for the upcoming week.
Folks, Aaron Wilson, OSU Extension climatologist here with this week's weather update for Southern Ohio. So certainly we've enjoyed some warmer conditions over the last several days, at least up until today. But despite that, overall the last 7 to 30 days have been quite chilly. If we look across Southern Ohio here, 7-day departures from average are somewhere between maybe 3 and 6 degrees below average. If we look at the 30-day, it's generally upwards of almost 8 degrees below average for the last 30 days. So it's been quite chilly across much of Ohio, especially here in Southern Ohio. Now, obviously, we've dealt with some pesky, pretty heavy rain over the last several days, but last week, we generally saw lighter precipitation amounts across Southern Ohio, more rainfall across the north, which was a little bit below average here across Southern Ohio. Of course, we've changed that now here over the last couple of days. We've seen upwards of 2 to 4 inches of rain in some spots across Southern Ohio, even locally heavier amounts than that. So that's certainly causing some issues out there as folks try to finish up planting season here in 2020. As far as our conditions go, that system is kind of lingering around the region, providing a focal point for some showers today. Honestly, we're going to continue that pattern tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit cool today and tomorrow. We'll start to warm up Friday as we finally get this system pushed out of here. We're going to be under the influence of some southerly breezes this weekend. It should get our temperatures back up in the 70s and 80s. But we're going to have to dodge some showers and thunderstorms too, as a cold front, again, slowly makes its way into the region. So as far as our forecast, we're looking at cool, wet weather today, tomorrow, and then we're going to start to again warm up over the weekend into next week. So we're still looking at another 1 to maybe 2 inches, maybe some localized heavier amounts here across Southern Ohio over the next few days. As far as the extended outlook now, looking at May 24th through the 28th, good probability of seeing warmer than average temperatures across the region. We should be in the mid-70s for highs, overnight lows in the mid-50s. I think we're going to be a bit above that as we head into next week with an elevated probability of above average precipitation. So thank you for joining us today. You can always find some more information at Dr. Wilson's Weather or Dr. Wilson's WX on Twitter. Until next time, we'll see you later and dodge those showers and storms. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
2 weeks ago, we spoke with Dr. Michael Para of the Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center. Dr. Para is a professor emeritus in the Department of Infectious Disease with a specialization in HIV and viral infections. Today we are joined again by Dr. Para to discuss the importance of personal protective equipment with COVID-19. Dr. Para?
Sure. Personal protective equipment is what we use to keep from getting something, okay? And I used to do a lot of HIV work. And so personal protective equipment back then was condoms. For this is a lot different. This is a disease that's primarily transmitted by the respiratory route. I mean, you can get it in your hands and rub your eyes and things, but it's really not transmitted by food. So handling I think transmission by hands is considerably less common. It can be the germ or the virus is mostly found in like saliva and in nasal secretions and things that people cough up. So and there's a lot of it in the nose. That's probably the highest concentration of viruses in the nose. So if people sneeze or they cough, or even like talking, you've seen when people talk and sometimes spit comes out their mouth because they're so excited. I mean, those are the kinds of things that are most infectious. And so wearing a mask is probably the most important thing. I mean, wearing gloves, if you're, again, if you're around where somebody has coughed and there's, spit on the table or whatever, and you get it on your hand, then yes, you can get it in your mouth, but you're much more likely to be around people who are coughing or talking out loud. Our biggest understanding that has come through literally in the last month, is that we used to say if you had a fever and you were coughing and you felt terrible, you were the ones who were spreading it. And while it is true, there are people who get this infection who don't even know they have it or don't know they have it yet. They may get more symptomatic in a day or two, but they can transmit it as well. And so even screening with taking temperatures like we still do in the hospital doesn't guarantee that we've screened out people who carry it. And in fact, that was a big problem in the prison where the director thought she could separate people who had it from people who didn't. She tested everybody and then found too many people that were, almost everybody was infected, or 80%. And so she realized when she checked with the prisoners, many of them had never been sick, but they must have transmitted and acquired the infection in that way. And so that is important, that people can be at work at the grocery store checking you out, or who could have it, who are not symptomatic or who are not yet symptomatic. And so it can be spread. And so again, that is the reason the CDC, in part, the CDC changed their recommendation to wear masks. If you can't kind of stay away from people 6 feet or more away from people, then you should consider wearing a mask. I think early on, we didn't realize, again, that a lot of people could spread this who didn't look sick or feel sick or weren't staying at home because they weren't that sick. And the other reason they might not have recommended masks is that there was a real shortage. There was a shortage for the hospital workers as well. It's a little better now, not completely better, but better. And so now there's room where you can get, some people can get masks at drugstores, some people can get them at the, in industrial masks, those N95s, those dust masks. So you can get masks. So that's a good idea to wear those when you're around other people and you're going to be closer than 6 feet. Now, is this as much of a problem out in the rural areas as in the city? And again, it all comes down to where is the epidemic the most. If you're in New York City, you probably want to wear a mask all the time when you're on the street. If you're out on the farm and there's not very many people around and there's not a lot of infection in your county, then it may not be as important. But to go to the grocery store, you don't know where those people have been or the people around you. And so it's generally recommended now to wear a mask when you're, close to a number of people that you can't step away from. And again, if you're working, there's no reason, and somebody working on a farm, or that you can't stay 6 feet away while you're talking to them. And the magic of 6 feet just has to do with the fact that when, it's called droplet spread, and that is that the virus gets on little droplets of spit or nasal secretions, and that'll only go about 6 feet. And so if you're a little further than that, it's not so much a worry. There is some evidence that it can be aerosolized, and then that's a little worse when it's aerosolized. That means that it can get in very fine, aerosols like what you spray out of spray cans, where you don't even see the fine mist, and it can stay in the air and get blown by winds and things a little bit further. And so in the hospital, we use N95 masks that are good against aerosols. And we do that not all the time, but we do that. We add an N95 if we're doing things involving the person's lungs, inserting medications or using an inhaler where the people will cough, or putting tubes down them. Those are things that are considered to generate aerosols. So we always, as medical providers, wear N95 masks. But for the most part, people aren't generating much aerosols, so a regular mask will help. And then finally, to get around to your answer, the cloth masks do help some. The CDC actually on their website, and I'll give it to you, Brooke, actually shows you how to make masks out of cloth or bandanas or other material, even kind of different kinds of paper. And so those masks, if you wear them right, so that when you breathe in, most of the stuff gets filtered through the mask, then they're helpful. And I wear them when I go to the grocery store or Lowe's. I don't wear them outside when I'm gardening and things, but they're recommended. They're particularly in areas where there's more infection.
Thank you, Dr. Para. You can find the CDC recommendations for making your own cloth face masks by visiting cdc.gov/coronavirus.
Thank you, Brooke. And we'll now turn the program over to Kelly Royalty.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelly Royalty, and I am the 4-H educator in Claremont County. And this is my helper, Kyler, today. And we are going to walk you through an activity of germinating seeds in plastic baggies. So hopefully this is a quick, fun, and easy activity that you can do with things that you already have at home. What you're going to need for today, you'll need sandwich-sized plastic bags. You will need seeds. So my recommendation is beans, because those sprout pretty quickly and they're easy for little ones to see a change in the seeds pretty soon. You can also, if you don't have green beans or garden seeds, you can certainly use just dried beans from the grocery store. So those work just as well. We are going to do a little bit of experimenting today. So we know that the beans work well. So today we're also going to be planting some sunflower seeds. We've not tried that before in this setting. So hopefully those work out for us. The other thing that you're going to need, today we're using water beads. So these are just little gel beads that you can purchase on Amazon. They come in a small container. They're very tiny, they're dried, and then you just put them in a container and add water, and they swell in size. So these are something, we're using these. We have these laying around the house, and they're a ton of fun. So we decided that we were going to use these today instead. If you do not have these at home, you can certainly use a paper towel, just dampen that with water, or you can certainly use soil as well. So if you don't have the water beads, just substitute that for a paper towel. You will also need either masking or painter's tape, as well as a marker. So to get us started, Kyler, if you can help me, Kyler, if you can help me add the water beads, add a few handfuls to our baggie.
Put it in there?
Yep, put those right in there.
But not a lot.
A whole bunch of them, put several handfuls in there. Good job. Add a few more. So if Kyler had his way, we would be picking out all of the green water beads, but we're just gonna add those in handfuls at a time. Add a few more, please.
Mm-hmm.
All right, one more. All right, so when you're finished, hopefully you have, I don't know, a fifth or so of your bag filled with water beads. again, or just put a damp paper towel in there and fold it up. The next thing we're going to do is add our seeds. So just to ensure germination, add 3 or 4 seeds to a bag.
I put some in?
Yep, go ahead and put a few seeds.
They're hard to get out.
They are. Do you want me to dump some in your hand? Okay.
One.
So we have 1.
Whoa, what are they doing? Whoa, pretty cool.
2, 3. Do you want to add one more?
And some for mine.
4. Perfect. So once you're finished, just go ahead and seal up your plastic bag, and then using your Sharpie, either write the type of seed that you're using, or if you have multiple kids, you can certainly put their name on there as well so they know whose seeds are whose.
That one mine.
Yep.
Yay!
All right. So then the next thing we're going to do, we're going to add a few sunflower seeds to this bag.
Okay.
Do you want to just put your hand out?
Okay.
So again, this is our experiment. We have not used sunflower seeds before, but we thought it might be fun to experiment with a new type of seed. So within 24 hours, you're going to see a difference in the seeds. They will certainly be more swollen. You will see that they're enlarged. So you will definitely see a difference within 24 hours or so. Within 3 days or so, you're going to see that that seed has cracked open and starting to change. And then within a week or so, you will actually see that it's starting to sprout. So what we're going to do now that we have all of our water beads and our seeds in our baggie, again, you can just mark it with the seed that you have in there or your child's name or both. And then we're going to use our painter's tape, and we will just tape this on the window, because what are the 3 things that we need for seeds to grow?
Sunlight and water and soil.
Very good. So we need sunlight, so that we're going to hang our baggie in the window to help give it some sunlight. And our baggie is actually going to act very much like a greenhouse and capture all of the heat and the sunlight and trap it in there. The water is coming from our water beads, so really no need to do any watering. Once you have those in there, it takes care of itself. And then soil, you can certainly use soil. We've done it that way and it works wonderfully. You can also, I just like that you can actually see the seeds in here and be able to see them pretty easily. So again, the water beads are fun, so we're going to use water beads. Kyler, since we're not using soil, do you think that your seeds are going to germinate? Do you think they'll start to grow?
Yeah!
You do?
Like this big.
Yep, that big?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you all for joining us. Hopefully you guys have great results as well. Please let us know what you think and have a wonderful day.
Mom?
Thank you, Kelly. Now we're going to send it over to Brad Bergeford, who's going to tell us a few tips for strawberry production this year.
Hi, I'm Brad Bergeford. I'm a horticultural specialist with OSU Extension. I'm based out of the Piketon Research and Extension Center. And what's happening in agriculture here in Southern Ohio? Well, today is getting towards the middle of May, and strawberry season is actually started. I'm actually on a strawberry farm here this afternoon, Berry Family Farms. Jerry Berry is the dad and the main owner of the Berry Farm, and he's located just out here in Highland County, just outside of Rainsboro. And they have adopted some of the production technologies that we've been researching at the OSU South Centers to extend their marketing season. They are growing day neutrals and everbearing strawberries, so they will actually begin harvest here in about 10 days, 2 weeks, and then they'll continue to harvest right up until Thanksgiving or thereabouts, depending on the season. So here they have about 3 acres in berries, and they will be selling to the public. They have a CSA that they'll be selling through, and they also have a post-harvest handling facility where they'll be cooling the berries. So as you can see behind me, the fields are in full bloom. Lots of nice fruit. I'll try to get a picture of the fruit here for you. And they will be picking in about 10 days. There's a fabulous crop here. They have worked very hard to protect it through 3 freeze events. They use row covers, as you can see in the back. There's some row covers. I'll go this way. Here's some of the row covers left still in the field. It's a spun-bounded material, and it protected down to 24, 26 degrees. So they did protect their crop. They have a beautiful crop out here, and within 10 days they'll be picking plenty of strawberries. They plant about 14,000 plants to the acre, and I think they just, with the acreage they just went in, if you can see in the background, the white, that is white plastic, and those would be for summer bearers. So by using the white plastic, they actually cool the soil, prevent the strawberry plant from stressing out from the heat of the summer months. So again, these are a day-neutral variety. They begin, if you carry them over, they begin harvest here this time of the year, and then they'll give them a little bit of a haircut right around June, and then they'll hit them with some nitrogen again, and they'll start fruiting again in July. And then they'll keep picking all the way through to almost Thanksgiving. So that is some new ways of producing strawberries. Traditionally, for many, many years, we only produced strawberries for about 3 weeks out of the season with the old matted row system. But those farmers that have adopted the plastic culture method and the day-neutral summer berry production method, we can now have strawberries from about the end of May right up until Thanksgiving. So for more information, you can go to my website, southcenters.osu.edu, click on the horticulture page, and there we have a full section of all of our research results and information on growing plastic culture strawberries.
Thanks, Brad. I know we are all looking forward to enjoying local strawberries this year. If you are looking for a science activity to do with your children or for yourself, look to the stars in the International Space Station for an out-of-this-world view. Launched in November of 1998, the International Space Station orbits the Earth at a roughly 17,150 miles per hour, or 5 miles per second. The International Space Station orbits the Earth every 90 minutes, which is approximately 16 times per day. While we are unable to view the space station during the day, we can get a good view of it on clear evenings, without the need for a telescope. Last Friday was a great evening to view the International Space Station, and I took a few pictures and videos of it as it passed over my family's farm. The space station appears as a fast-moving, bright light. You can clearly see the difference between the space station and the star that is visible in the video I took, as the star appears to be stationary. The star is flickering due to some cloud coverage. You can clearly tell the difference between the space station and an airplane due to the fact that airplanes have blinking lights and that the space station is one solid bright white light. As the Earth is constantly rotating, you can also make star time-lapse photography to see the Milky Way and other constellations as the evening hours progress. To get alerts when the International Space Station will be coming over your home, visit spotthestation.nasa.gov and sign up for alerts for your town. Thank you for joining us for this week on the Southern Ohio Farm Show. Join us next week for another new episode where we will discuss the weather, local foods, and the Coronavirus Food Assistance Program. Be safe and have a great weekend.